स्वागत करते हैं जी एक बार फिर आप सब ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਯੋਗੀਚਾਰਣੀ ਮੈਤਰੇय ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਟ੍ਰਿਸਟਾ ਸਟ੍ਰੇਵਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਤੇ ਯੋਗਾ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਇੱਕ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਇਵੋਲਵ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਅਰਕਾਇਆ ਸਿਸਟਮ। ਮਾਈਂਡ ਬੋਡੀ ਸੋਲ ਦਾ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਅਰਕਾਇਆ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਦੇ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਜੋ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਆਓ ਇਸ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਹੀ ਮਹਿਮਾਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ।
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Archaya system, you have evolved this system. We talk about the mind, body, soul.
Yes.
Everything is connected.
Yes.
What is this Archaya system?
So Archaya means light, healing and inspiration.
Okay.
So in the West when I came, if I called it just classical yoga, then it didn't work because
Right.
there were so many brands of yoga.
Right.
So a lot of my students who got trained in the teacher training, they wanted to say, oh, this is different from how it's being taught in the West.
Okay.
And therefore the organization name became the branding of the yoga itself.
Okay.
So here it's a holistic system where you're looking not just at the physical practices, but looking at how do we spiritualize the body, what is yoga philosophy or applied yoga philosophy, not something removed from us,
Right.
but in modern times, how do we apply it, and also yoga psychology, understanding our psyche and soma, or the body, and also the emotions, how
Right.
it impacts us. So you're looking at the fact that everything is connected to everything.
Yeah.
What you drink to what you think. All of that is important.
Right.
Yes.
Yoga is today a big word in the Western world, especially, of course, in India where it originated. It's probably many people might not be doing it, but over here it's becoming a trend now.
Yes.
It's a classic thing. Everybody wants to go and do yoga classes. Now, when we talk about yoga as such, and especially this Archaya system where you talk about connection of the mind, body and soul.
Yeah.
What do you mean by this? Like our lifestyles, the way we are living now, it's a fast-paced life,
Yes.
and we don't have any time for anything. So when we talk about yoga, generally the concept is you go to a yoga studio, do some exercises and come back, and that way physically you can remain, good.
Yeah.
Or you meditate for some time, and that gives you some kind of relief from the stresses you are going through. So basically, how can a common person in his or her daily life incorporate some yogic practices and then remain a happy life, basically?
Yes. So for the common person or for the advanced practitioner, for both there is space in Archaya.
Okay.
Because what happens is sometimes people tend to think, or the ego tends to think, the more complicated it is, the more effective things are.
Right.
So we start with the foundational practices which are very, very simple. And yet they help you go deeper because of the fact that all the tools are applied in a cohesive manner.
Right.
For example, when you're moving, you have to be aware of your deep breathing. You have to be aware of the mindfulness. You have to be aware of the prana in the system. Now a lot of people, they listen or they know of the term pranayama, which they commonly translate as breathing practices.
Right.
But if you actually look at the root Sanskrit meaning, prana means life force, and ayama means expansion. So what we're essentially doing in pranayama is that we're expanding our life force.
Right.
The means by which we do this is not just breathing. Breathing, of course, is one of the main, is one of the main aspects, and that's why so much emphasis is given on correct breathing.
Right.
But most importantly, tuning into these prana nadis or pranic channels that flow not just in the physical body but in the pranic body. So what happens is we become acutely aware of interactions that deplete Shakti or deplete prana from our system. So we can say, once we become sensitized, we can say, oh, this food, after I eat it, I feel really dull and heavy. So it's not the food that increases prana in my system.
Right.
Or after this company, I don't feel quite right. As much as on the surface, all the gloss and, glamour is there in the meeting, something doesn't feel okay.
Right.
So similarly, with every association and with everything that comes into our space, we're able to check in and say, is this something that allows for free flow of prana, or is it something that inhibits prana in the system? So to me, that subtlety or that awareness is what I want to bring about in my students and in the teacher trainings.
Right.
Yeah.
So Trista is one of your students.
Yes, that's right.
You are learning about this system.
Yes.
Again, like you are in the corporate world, you work. Everybody has to work over here. You don't have much time.
That's right.
So tell us how this teacher training is impacting you. How this lifestyle which you have adopted now is different from before. About the pranic level, like Maitreya is telling us, it increases. what has been your experience?
I have a deep calm throughout my day when I practice yoga, and all of my relationships have softened and become much more gentle.
Right.
I have children, and I'm able to share a lot more compassion with my children by being very present to them and their needs, and not being affected by whatever stress and agenda is happening throughout their day, in addition to my own day with my work.
So this change, Maitreya ji, which you have brought in, Trista, we would like to know some of the things which our viewers can also incorporate through this Arkaya system, by which they can also start living a joyful, blissful life.
Wonderful. So as I was showing in the last segment, we have the body awareness tools, we have the breath awareness tools. This time I'm going to show one simple tool for pranic awareness.
Okay.
So just so that we see the hands, I'm going to bring the palms and ask Trista to do the same.
Okay.
So maybe you could
I'll also follow you, yeah.
Why not?
Right.
So what we're doing is we're tuning into this pranic pulse which is there. So we're going to keep our eyes closed just for 20 seconds. We're going to tune in, and we're gently going to bring our fingers apart, maybe half an inch or an inch, and gently bring it back together. Gently bring it. It's very, very subtle movement, not too far, just your wrists are rested, your wrists don't have to move at all. Just your fingers will move apart and move together. And gently move apart. And gently bring it together, and see if you can sense anything between your palms and your fingers. Wonderful. How do you sense it as?
Yeah, it's some kind of sensation going on, some kind of, it's a little hot kind of thing, yeah?
Fantastic.
Right.
So you're naturally sensitive, and that's how you sense prana. It's like heat, tingling, magnetic, slight magnetic pull. So all of these are how we kind of sense or tune into prana. But because the mind is so busy, we are not aware of these subtler sensations.
Right.
So this sensation is what we're tuned in right through the day. And the minute we become tuned into it, we, at every point in our day, like she was saying, we can be with it, we can be in that calm.
Right.
And despite all the chaos that is happening, we can come back to it.
Right.
Now there is a practice called the Jyoti Kriya. Jyoti means inner illumination. So what we're doing is we are being aware of this pranic sensation right through the day, and by using the Jyoti Kriya, Jyoti means inner illumination, we are increasing this inner glow, this inner seeing. So if you look at a lot of the sages, they were seers or seers, they saw themselves clearly. And this is a beautiful practice to both increase prana as well as come back to one's own inner calm.
Right. No,
so
but
that,
Maitreya, the sensation, that tingling which is there.
Yes.
So now what do? You observe this, or you keep on practicing
you be present to it, and constantly tune into it, and also increase it. So pranayama essentially means the conscious expansion of prana. So through this practice, as we increase prana, as we expand prana, we won't feel depleted. Sometimes I have a lot of external stresses. And I have a lot of people who come to me for support.
Right.
So at that point, what I do is I just keep coming back to this pranic awareness, and I don't feel as depleted as normally I could have become.
Right. So how long should you do it? About 2-3 minutes?
Yes, just even a minute. Like I said, a lot of these tools don't need hours. Just a minute of bringing back and doing this Jyoti Kriya.
So it's kind of rejuvenation of your prana. Basically.
Yes.
Right.
So the Jyoti Kriya is basically we extend the arms up and above the head. So it goes a little more into detail of this awareness.
Right.
So there's a little more process to it that if there's time we can sorry. It's like kind of thinking of the time.
Right. Absolutely. Anyways, these are small things, but as you said, this mind, body, soul, you become more aware of what's happening around you. But those things, those circumstances don't impact you. It's your inner strength. You are so much calm inside that everything else has no relevance, and you keep on doing your work. And that's what the basic purpose is. You start living from these small things, happy and joyful life. Wonderful. Thank you very much for this information.
Thank you.
ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਓ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਯੋਗੀਚਾਰਣੀ ਮੈਤਰੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਇਵੋਲਵ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਰਕਾਇਆ ਸਿਸਟਮ। ਇਹ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਬੋਡੀ ਸੋਲ ਦਾ, ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਮਨ ਦਾ, ਸਰੀਰ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਆਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਸੰਮੇਲ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਵਧਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੜੀ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਜਿਹੀ ਟਿਪ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਮੀਚ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੱਥ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡੈਮੋਨਸਟ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਖੀ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੱਥਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਟਿੰਗਲਿੰਗ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰੋਗੇ। ਉਹੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਣਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਫੋਰਸ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਡ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਓਗੇ। ਜਿਉਂ-ਜਿਉਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੈਟਰ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਉਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਸਥਿਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਬਾਹਰਲੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ, ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਸਰਕਮਸਟੈਂਸਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਣਗੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਿਐਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਬਲਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਸ ਨਾਲ, ਆਪਣੇ ਨਜ਼ਰੀਏ ਨਾਲ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ ਨਜਿੱਠੋਗੇ। ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਸ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਗੱਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਲਏ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਸਮਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਸਮਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਤਮਾ ਵਾਸਤੇ।